with the Denali. Yeah, the four-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive rather, takes away the torque steer just like the AT4. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the all-new GMC Acadia Denali. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to the national GMC here in American Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Denali. I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below where you can check this one out. It is available for sale for the time being. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6, goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 271 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end of the Denali. So first off, what you guys will notice is we have these distinctive lines here on the hood, and I think it looks fantastic here with this white paint. Got the GMC logo there front and center, obviously massive chrome grille because Denali, right? And then popping here to the side, you guys can see the C-shaped LED daytime running lights with the LED headlamps. And then notice with the parking sensors there on the front end, got a little fog light there in the corner, and then notice with the chrome trim all around that. And overall, looks pretty good. Coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 235, 55, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see here with the design on the wheels, you've got kind of like that bright silver there on the face, and then it kind of turns to dark metallic gray on the inside portion of the spoke. Notice here with the fender flare how that is body painted. Got the Denali logo there with that chrome strip. And then there's also chrome around the door handles and then around the window trim as well. Lots of chrome, lots of bling, right? And there's your side view. So here's our key fob for the Denali. You got the GMC logo there on the back. We have our unlock and our lock function, remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. So just press that a couple times and then it'll pop right open. And you can see with the third row folded down and with one of the seats in the second row folded down, you have quite a bit of cargo space back here. Now pulling this up, you can see the storage space inside that. And then I'm gonna pull this strap right here, and this will allow me to pull this seat here for the third row up, and then you guys can see what the storage space would be with the third row up. Now as for the seats themselves, they look really good actually, as you guys can see with the material use. Sorry about that awkward camera angle right there. You can fit adults back in the third row of the Denali. Headroom is pretty solid, and then legroom's actually decent. Over long road trips, so I would recommend reserving it for kids. They do get some cup holders back there. You got a little USB port, cup holder there on the other side. And other than that, when you're all done, just press this. And it'll lower it all down. Finishing these up with the rest of the rear, we've got the signature C-shaped taillights here on the back end, but notice it like extends here on the top. We've got more chrome trim to the GMC logo, and then notice our all-wheel drive and Acadia badge. Also all chromed out. Parking sensors here on the rear, and then another chrome strip that says Denali. Got a bezel covering the receiver hitch. And then here's a quick look at the cover for the exhaust tip as well. And, well, other than that, that's the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. You can see the leather trim right here, and then notice all of the white stitching goes to the wood trim there on the door panel, and there's quite a bit of storage space. There's this little pocket right there and then down below. And here are the seats. So notice with the stitching and then the piping, and then it's perforated all down the center of the seat. And getting in is pretty easy. Just pretty much slide right across, just like most crossovers. There's your legroom. There's your headroom. And then notice with the storage pocket, we do have our own climate zone in the back. We also have heated seats. We have a full outlet. And this has the captain chair set up. So you've got these cool armrests. And then notice there's also some vents here on the ceiling. Let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. You can see again with the stitching that goes across, and then notice the leather trim down below with more of that stitching. Our wood trim that goes across right there. Notice here with the windows, automatic for the front two. Got your mirror adjustments, memory seat function. This is for the hatch for different settings, and then speaker for the Bose sound system. Blind spot monitoring for the mirrors. And notice with the Denali logo there in the headrest. And then notice with the seats again, perforated. You got the piping, power adjustments here on the side. Another Denali logo, can never have enough of those. Also on the floor mat, geez. Got the pedal layout, and then with the parking brake, that's for the heads-up display, the whole setup, and then notice again with more stitching. Steering wheel is power adjustable. Let's pop in. Now here is the steering wheel. You can see the padding all around and then the darker stitching on the center portion. You got some controls for the center stack. And then we do have radio controls there on the back. We of course have our windshield wiper stock, turn signal light stock, and we have our cruise control here with the heated steering wheel button. Denali yet again. And I also want to show this quickly. We also have a heads-up display, which is pretty cool. But there's the steering wheel. Here's the center gauge cluster. You've got analog gauges on either side, and then we do have this screen here in the center, which we can scroll through different bits of info on the Acadia. Notice all that stuff that you can scroll through. Pretty straightforward. We do have some different drive modes. Right now we're in the two-wheel drive mode, which is front-wheel drive. We have an all-wheel drive mode, and then we have a sport mode, and then we have an off-road mode as well. As if anyone would actually take a Denali off-road, but there you go. Here's the infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution is pretty solid. This one doesn't have a 360 camera system. You can get that as an option. Now, response time for the screen, fantastic. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and then we got some analog controls just down below, and well, there you go. We've got analog controls for our climate system. This does have a dual zone climate system for the front, and then we have our interesting gear selector system right there with all of the little pulls and pushes. Almost, I don't know, feels like a toy in a way. Got our USB setup right there. It does have a wireless phone charging pad, and then we've got our auto stop start here. Notice the stability control, and then the hazard lights, and then the parking sensors. And then this wood trim definitely has some nice grain to it. You got the cup holders with, of course, more chrome bling. Heated and cooled seats here for the front, and then we have our drive mode select we went over earlier with the lane departure there on the side. And here's the center console, which, well, it's a center console. And then glove box, and then there's just this random little piece of wood trim right there. Nice padding in the dash though, that's for sure. And we do have a sunglass holder here at the top, and yeah, no sunroof in this particular one. Now here's a bonus sticker for this 2023 Acadia Denali. And anyways, after our $1,500 OnStar charge takes the base price from $48,000 to $52,740, and let's drive it. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood with the heads-up display. Both of the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Run through the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Ooh, setting off in the Acadia Denali, and I'm driving this back-to-back with the AT4, and well, I have a fear that I might end up roasting the Denali, so sorry in advance. So first off, in the two-wheel drive mode, it definitely has that little kind of torque steery feel to an extent. And aside from that, I love how it says V6 here on the gauge cluster, because you can go from 6-cylinder to 4-cylinder mode here with the Denali. Yeah, the four-wheel drive or the all-wheel drive rather, takes away the torque steer just like the AT4. Let me see if I can get it to go into the 4-cylinder mode. Anyways, really comfortable. Seat comfort's great. It's got the air conditioned seat function as well, and yeah, it's a comfortable vehicle overall. I'm a big fan of the Acadia. See how it goes with these little dirt area, bump 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 bump. Pretty good with the suspension. Still can't get it to go in the 4-cylinder mode. I'm guessing that might be reserved for highway driving when you're in higher gears. I'm probably just not going quick enough for me to be able to access that. Other stuff with the Denali, it is, you know, pretty quiet inside here. Overall it's got a nice kind of like luxury feeling interior, which is great for this segment because you usually don't expect that at this price point. But it's starting to become a little bit more common with stuff like the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Okay, can I get it to go to V4? Because it's so funny when it says V4. Nope, I can't. Anyways, summing things up here with the Denali. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think it looks pretty good with all of the chrome, especially if that's your thing. And then interior, it's definitely nice. Material use is great. And oh, there's a big storage thing underneath here as well. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. Man, must be the heat getting to me today. But yeah, overall, I think they've done a good job. The only thing I have to say is I just reviewed an AT4 Acadia right before this, and that had more features than this, except for the only thing it didn't have was wireless phone charger, but it had everything else, and it was $49,000. And if you put everything that the AT4 had in this would be like $60,000 or something like that. And so I think the Denali is cool, but I think the AT4 is a much better value. And it had heated, cooled seats, right? The interior looks a little bit different, the exterior looks a little bit different, but if it were my money, I would buy the AT4. Let me know what you guys think. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this Acadia Denali. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the National GMC here in American for Utah for giving me some time with the Acadia. Check out them, try in the description down below. I'll see you.